A little earlier today, we spoke to a man who spent the past few years playing someone who is all about getting a little bit richer.
I try to do, people turn against me. I'm 100 feet tall. These people are pygmies.
Here they are, the Rebel Alliance.
Well, that is, of course, the legendary Brian Cox. And in an interesting twist inspired by playing the role of tycoon Logan Roy in Succession, he's decided he wanted to learn more about the divide between the rich and the poor.
Hi, I'm Brian Cox. Now, you probably know me from my day job as the arch media mogul of all time, my evil twin from the TV show Succession, Logan Roy. I'm swapping the role of foul-mouthed billionaire for intrepid reporter. I want to find out what money does to you, to me, how it affects all our lives.
Looks good, doesn't it? Well, Brian came in to talk about the journey he's been on and why he decided to look a little further into the divide between the haves and the have-nots.
I was looking for, acting's one thing, and I love it, and I love the job, and I love Succession. It's a brilliant series. It's brilliantly written. It's a satire. It's a critique. It really is a critique in essence. Bore on the floor over there. And somebody asked me this morning and said, I think it was you actually, asked me this morning and said, why would you want to play a part like that? And I thought, well, it's a good part.
So different to you. So different to you.
I know,
so
it's very
different
different. But I mean, it's acting. It's what I do. You know, I've played everybody. You know, the world and his husband. Anyway, so I just thought I need to do something where it balances me out, just in my sense of self. You know, so this great guy called Tom O'Brien came along from a group called Naked, and it was Fremantle who did it initially. He just said, well, I want to do on money. And immediately I went, yes, that's the big subject. That's the subject that nobody ever deals with. You know, they'll deal with the religion. And religion is interesting because it diversifies everybody. But you want something which unites people. And there's nothing unites people more than money, either too much of it or, in most cases, you know, the problem was it was very hard. It was originally a three-part program, and we've still got a lot of material, but we couldn't get a lot of rich material. You know, the rich people are a little bit nervous about talking about it, and also I have to be very careful because I don't want to judge. You can't judge in a situation like that. You have to, you know, you have to let it, you know, speak for itself. And also, you know, there are. I mean, it's interesting, for instance, John Caulfield. He was the first person to sell his mobile phone company.
Phones for You guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, he made a fortune. But he started as a 5-year-old. He started selling comics out of his back window. So the entrepreneurial skill was already there. So that's a different element. And that's realistic and understandable that somebody has that entrepreneurial skill and that can be harnessed for the common good. And he pays his taxes. And he himself said, you know, I'm happy to pay tax. But the problem is there is no proper wealth tax. We don't do it. And we should do it. We should have a really good wealth tax. I mean, in the States, Trump raised it was originally you got an allowance of $6 million. He's raised it to 22 million. So it just exacerbates the situation more and more and more and more and more. And then when you realize that over 10 billionaires own more than 1.5 billion people.
Money, the stuff dreams are made of.
And that's an inequity. That's not on. They have to pay their way, you know. And there's a brilliant young man on the program who was absolutely amazing young man who worked in the city for a while, working class lad, worked in the city. And he did a bet on the 2008 crisis, and he said it's not going to recover in a way. And he won the bet, and he made £2 million for his company. And then he left the company because he realized that it was just based on greed, and he couldn't go through with it any longer.
And anybody who watches the programme will see that you go back and look at your own background in Dundee, and which was a poor background. I wonder, do you look at your own childhood in a different way now, considering where you are? How do you look back on that? Well,
it's just part of one's journey. You know, we all have our journeys. We all start off. I mean, my great thing is that, you know, that we're all basically, none of us are much older than 8, really. And I think that that's true, who we are. See, I never was distressed I was distressed, of course, by what happened to my mum and what happened to my dad, but I wasn't distressed by the situation. I just got on with it. So the survival mechanism, we have an amazing, and that's how people, you know, and it shouldn't be enough that people just survive, but unfortunately, people can just survive, and it's not good enough. You know, it's not good enough for the human spirit to be able to survive. And that's why I felt the program was very necessary, really examining, you know, what the cost is to the individual in terms of, and, you know, the thing that you don't see on the program, which was the moment, you know, there's a moment when I lose it. And it was actually related to this man who came in. It was fascinating that this guy came in, and this was in this kitchen larder places. Now, kitchen larders are set up in a way, one of the great things is loss of dignity. That's what people feel more and more and more, is loss of human dignity. And that's a wonderful thing to feel, and in one sense, that one needs dignity. One thrives with some kind of dignity in your life. And this guy came in, and he was lame, and he had a stick, and he also had a sign here. And he came in, and I said, so, and the idea in the kitchen larder is you can buy tin goods for about £2. For £4 you can get tin and dry goods, and then for £6 you can get tin, dry, and more. And then what happened was that he was doing this, and I said, so you're doing this for your family? He said, no, I do this for about 15 people. I do 5 a week who cannot get here, who are not capable of getting here. And I said, well, that's amazing. That's extraordinarily generous. He said, no, I do it. You know, I've got these families I work for. And I said to him, I said, so what is this sign you've got on your arm? He said, oh, I'm blind. And I went, you know, it just stopped me in my tracks. I said, you're blind? He said, yeah. He said, I can see about that much. I said, but you do this? He said, yeah, well, if I didn't do it, who would? And that sort of heroism, you know, within a community, you just, it kind of stops you in your tracks.
We can't have you on here without asking you about succession.
Oh, yes.
Is there anything you can tell us?
I can't. It's all going very well, according to plan. The family is still in dispute. No, I'm not. I can't say anything.
Really lovely to have you. Have a brilliant weekend.
Okay, thank you very much. All the best.